Good afternoon, KELOLAND. I'm meteorologist Brian Karstens. Well, it looks like a few scattered showers or thunderstorms still could pop up yet this afternoon. Temperature-wise, with that hazy sky, 83 Sioux Falls, Aberdeen 86, Pierre 87, and Rapid City at 89. It looks like another round of some of those scattered hits of rain going into tomorrow. We'll have that and the hotter forecast, all beginning right now on midday in KELOLAND.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, midday in KELOLAND.
Thousands raised for the Children's Home Society. We'll have the results from this weekend's Polka Run coming up. Plus,
President Biden suspends his 2024 re-election campaign. I'm Nicole Skanga at the White House as Vice President Harris kicks off her campaign at the top of the ticket.
good afternoon and thanks for having us in. New details this midday on a crash that killed a teenager and left another severely injured near Garrettson in eastern South Dakota. Authorities say two people were in a 2022 Polaris ATV last night when they lost control on a gravel road. The vehicle went in a ditch and rolled. Both people were ejected. A 16-year-old girl was killed. A 30-year-old man was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Authorities are still trying to figure out who was driving. Authorities have released the name of the man who died in a head-on semi-crash northeast of Beersford. Early Friday morning, investigators say 28-year-old Darian O'Neill Klein crossed the center line in an SUV and collided with a semi. Troopers say he was not wearing a seatbelt and died of his injuries. O'Neill Klein was from Oklahoma. Active weather in the Pierre area brought a little excitement in central South Dakota. Take a look at this. A funnel cloud was spotted in the West Bend and Joe Creek area near Pierre. Thank you to Jamie for sending these pictures in to our U-Share. And weather, Brian, we're going to be feeling the heat soon, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, hot weather generating a lot of attention here later in the week. By the way, those funnel clouds, too, produced with this upper air disturbance moving through. So a lot of times in a case like this, these really aren't the dangerous scenarios, but they certainly do perk some curiosity. And we'll keep an eye on any renegade cells that manage to pop up yet today. Right now on radar, it looks pretty quiet, although I will tell you over Sioux Falls, we're kind of watching a couple of interesting clouds that are beginning to bubble up, and just had an opportunity to look at that scan here on that Huron radar, and look at that. See right over the downtown area? Let me zoom right on in. There it is. We got one cell here. We got one south of Valley Springs, and those little things will kind of come into the forecast as we generate some heating this afternoon. Here's the hour-by-hour planner. We're going to hover there in the low 80s as we finish up the afternoon. We'll slip down to 73 by 10 p.m. tonight. I don't expect a big chance of rain overnight tonight, but a couple of things could linger here as we take you through the forecast here. And obviously these little cells that have managed to bubble up around Sioux Falls, a few more could join the crowd. But again, there's just not a lot here for forcing to organize this rain out there today. So by and large, that story is there. I do want to mention, though, overnight tonight, there's a little bit more of that over into Minnesota. So we'll just keep tabs on that. Temperatures in the 80s for the majority. And for Rapid City, we're up to close to 89 yet this afternoon. That is a look at the weather. We'll get to our complete forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Always great to have you in midday with us, Brian. Thank you. A restaurant in eastern Sioux Falls is celebrating 50 years. Frying Pan on East 10th Street is getting ready to celebrate with a special breakfast deal on July 31st. It's one of 7 locations in the Dakotas and Minnesota. One of the owners says the restaurant has stuck to its roots over the past 5 decades.
We look through the old menus over the years, and boy, a lot of the things are still the same, you know. Back in those days, we didn't have like barbecue ribs like we do now.
And tonight's on KELOLAND, we're going to find out what's the recipe for success in the restaurant industry. We have an update for you on a weekend polka run benefiting the Children's Home Society in Sioux Falls. 510 motorcycle riders took part in the Those Guys Abate 16th annual polka run. In all, the event raised $16,000 for CHS. She'll be performing on tour in Europe, but there will still be a Taylor Swift presence of sorts at the 2024 South Dakota State Fair. The specially priced tribute to the megastar's music is planned at the grandstand on Labor Day afternoon as the fair wraps up. Fair organizers say there will be a lot for people to enjoy on the final day.
Really looking forward to that. That coupled with Peaceful Pines promotions that day and some really fun family fun contests that we have on the Farm Bureau Dakota Land stage is just going to really make for a great final day of the fair where families can come out, enjoy the fair, take a last ride, eat some of that great fair food on the last day.
Our Bob Mercer has a closer look at the entertainment lineup and other changes to this year's fair. You can find that on the Capitol News Bureau page on KELOLAND.com. Developing nationally, the head of the Secret Service was called to Capitol Hill this morning to answer questions about the attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump. The House Oversight Committee subpoenaed Director Kimberly Cheadle after the attack, following widespread criticism that the agency did not properly prepare for Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Some lawmakers have called for her to resign. Cheadle said in her opening testimony that the assassination attempt is the most significant operational failure at the Secret Service in decades.
The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse.
Several of the committee members became frustrated with Cheadle for not sharing more about what happened and what went wrong. Vice President Kamala Harris has raised nearly $50 million since announcing she would seek the Democratic presidential nomination. It, of course, follows current President Joe Biden's monumental decision yesterday to no longer seek re-election after weeks of mounting pressure following his disastrous debate performance. Nicole Skanga reports from Washington.
Vice President Kamala Harris made her first public appearance at the White House since announcing she would enter the race for the Democratic presidential nomination.
And I wanted to say a few words about our president. Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched.
A growing list of Democrats have thrown their weight behind Harris.
She has been a strong leader on the national stage. She is someone that's going to be a unique candidate when she goes up against Donald Trump.
It comes after President Biden made the momentous decision Sunday not to seek re-election. In a letter posted online, he wrote, "It is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." Harris can't officially become the nominee until more than 4,600 Democratic National Convention delegates have their say. An open convention is still possible next month if there are challengers.
A lot of people would like to see a mini primary. That's the process, to find out if you have the strongest candidate, whether it be Kamala or whoever else.
On CBS Mornings, independent Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia called for other candidates to emerge, but ruled out running himself. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson questioned the legality of Democrats switching candidates.
It would be wrong and I think unlawful in accordance to some of these states' rules for a handful of people to go in a back room and switch it out because they don't like the candidate any longer. Former
President Trump said Biden was not fit to serve from the very beginning. Harris's campaign says it took in nearly $50 million from grassroots supporters Sunday. That's the biggest fundraising total for any candidate this year. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
Andy Beshear, the Democratic governor of Red State, Kentucky, also endorsed Harris today and said he would consider being her running mate.